Boston Brighton District City Councilor. Today is Tuesday, January 29th, and we are here regarding docket 0175. Message in order authorizing the City of Boston to submit to the Mass School Building Authority the statement of interest dated January 14, 2019 for the English High School, Jamaica Plain, the McKinley K through 12, Boston, the Curley K through 8, Jamaica Plain, the Mary Lyons 9 through 12, Brighton, the Josiah Quincy Elementary School, Boston, and the Dudley Street Neighborhood Charter School, Roxbury. I'd like to remind folks this is a public hearing, both being broadcast live and taped for review at a later time on Comcast Channel 8, RCN 82, Verizon 1964, and streamed at boston.gov/city-council-TV. I'd like to ask folks in the chamber to silence your electronic devices. At the conclusion of the presentation and questions from my colleagues, we will take public testimony. There is a sign-in sheet to my left by the door. We ask that you sign in and mark the box if you do wish to testify publicly. With that, I'd like to introduce my colleagues who are in attendance. To my far left is Councilor Ed Flynn, and next to him is Councilor Matt O'Malley. And at this point, I'd like to just turn it over to John and Brian for your testimony. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Councilor. My name is John Hanlon, the Chief Operating Officer of Boston Public Schools. I'm here with Brian McLaughlin, Chief of Staff, Public Facilities Department. What we have for you this afternoon now is an exciting but brief presentation. It's exciting in that it's a continued sign of our deep collaboration with the Massachusetts School Building Authority and our efforts to make much-needed renovations across a number of our schools. A note on that deep collaboration with the MSBA. In the first 11 years of the MSBA, we received just south of $6 million in reimbursement for building projects from the state. Since that time, we've received $117 million in reimbursement toward roughly $250 million in total project costs, with more to come where those cost estimates haven't yet been finalized. So very, very exciting times for us, very exciting times within Build BPS as we continue to work with the state to do great amount of work with our partners at PFD across the school district. As I mentioned, the presentation is also brief because this presentation itself has become something of a matter of routine in the last few years, where we come before both school committee and city council to present to you our proposals for those sites due to receiving accelerated repair project work in the upcoming year. What's also become routine but is absolutely integral to our success within Build BPS is the strengthening partnership that we have with PFD and our partners like Brian, who are sharing so much of this work with us and making it possible for the school children of Boston. With that, I'll pass it over to Brian for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Councilor. Just a quick background on the MSBA before we get into what we're going to be submitting this year. The MSBA is the state authority that oversees funding for public school construction throughout the Commonwealth. It's a reimbursement agency that is funded through 1 penny of the Massachusetts sales tax. The first step in the MSBA process is to submit a statement of interest, which is what they call their application. The SOI allows districts to inform the MSBA that there are deficiencies within a building that prevents the school from delivering their educational program as desired. The SOI requires votes of both the City Council and the school committee in order to submit to the MSBA. There are 2 programs that the MSBA offers. It is the Accelerated Repair Program and the CORE Program. The Accelerated Repair Program is for facilities with the scope that is limited to roof, window, and boiler replacements. And the CORE Program is for larger work, such as the Carter School, the Boston Arts Academy, the Dearborn STEM School. Accelerated Repair Program projects are designed to materially extend the useful life of a building that's already capable of delivering the educational program as desired. As John has mentioned, the MSBA was created in 2004. From 2004 to 2014, there was limited partnership between the City of Boston and the MSBA. We received just under $6 million on 5 total projects. Since 2015, and since Mayor Walsh took office, he made it a priority to try to leverage these funds and maximize the city dollars spent for school capital needs. So since 2015, the city has completed 13 projects, and 11 additional projects have been approved by the MSBA. 5 of those 11 projects will go into construction this summer 2019. 6 of those 11 projects are in design and are slated for summer 2020 construction. The 13 completed projects and the 5 projects going into construction this summer represent $53 million in total project costs, and the city's receiving just under $31 million in reimbursement for those 18 projects. In addition, the city and the MSBA have collaborated on several core program projects that have resulted in an additional $86 million in reimbursement. That's mostly reimbursement on the Dearborn STEM Academy and Boston Arts Academy. So in total, as John mentioned, since 2015, the city has been approved by the MSBA for $117 million in reimbursement. The MSBA has a certain criteria for the accelerated repair program. Schools that are submitted for the program must meet these requirements in order to be considered for a future project with the MSBA. Some of the requirements include roof and boilers must be over 20 years old, windows must be 30 years old, the school cannot be deemed overcrowded, the cost of the project has to be over $250,000, the building must be used for educational purposes, so the MSBA will not consider an ARP, an accelerated repair program project, for a building such as the bowling or central kitchen. It has to be a school. The submission process, or the process of selecting certain schools to submit to the MSBA, is similar to what we've done in previous years. For 2019, the schools were chosen after review of certain criteria, including overall condition of the facility, selecting facilities that meet the ARP requirements, and projects that provide an opportunity to receive the most reimbursement on eligible costs for a particular project. PFD and BPS facilities team work closely together in utilizing data from BPS facility assessments while making sure the schools put forward head building systems that are continually needing repair. Based on the review, we recommend the following 6 schools and request the City Council vote to approve the following statements of interest. The James Curley K-8 school for a roof project, the McKinley K-12 school for a roof project, Dudley Street Neighborhood Charter School, which is an in-district charter school, English High School, and Josiah Quincy Elementary School, which will all be roof projects, and finally the Mary Lyon 9 to 12 school for a boiler replacement project. As mentioned earlier, in order to properly submit the statement of interest, it must be accompanied by a vote of both City Council and School Committee. And we need to have this prior to the February 15th submission deadline. Today, we're before you for the hearing in hopes of a vote at your next City Council meeting. We presented to School Committee last week, 2 weeks ago now, and hope to have a vote in front of their body tomorrow. And the hard copy submission will be submitted to the MSBA prior to the February 15th deadline. Once all this information is submitted to the MSBA, they conduct their own review, which usually takes 5 to 6 months, and we'll likely know whether or not these projects will move forward into the MSBA Accelerated Repair Program for 2019 in this upcoming summer. And that projects that are approved for 2019 will likely go into construction in 2021. That's it for the presentation. Gladly answer any questions. I would like to point out that the first slide of the appendix of this presentation is probably one of my favorite things to show. It's because of all the work that we've collaborated with BPS on and how great the partnership is working. And we look to build upon that. But the first line in the appendix is really telling on the work that's been done to date.
Right. Great work, guys. And let me recognize Councilor Matt O'Malley for his question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I actually don't have a question. I'm delighted to see this, particularly 2 schools in District 6, the second oldest high school in America, the English High School, and the what used to be the separate James Michael and Mary Curley schools, which are now combined as a combined K-8. Great schools, wonderful school communities. Like many schools in our districts, Mr. Chairman, need a lot of TLC. So I appreciate your work, the mayor's work, the superintendent's work on accessing these state funds, and look forward to supporting this going forward. I apologize that I have to sneak out, but there's another presentation happening currently. So thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor. Just one quick question. We've seen very few occasions where schools have fallen off the list. Is that after a feasibility study, and what are some of those, the reasons why they may fall off the list?
There's a couple different reasons. A couple have been submitted. Every SOI that's submitted, the MSBA comes out and visits. And sometimes if they feel the facility needs more than just a roof, window, or boiler replacement, they won't invite it into the accelerated repair program. That's happened on a couple occasions.
Right.
This past year, we submitted a roof project to the MSBA. At the time of their submission deadline, the eligible years were a roof that was 20 years old. They received more statements of interest than they anticipated. So after the date, they bumped up the year to 30 years. So only roofs that were over 30 years of age would be eligible.
Wow.
We fell in the middle, so we withdrew on our own, knowing that we wouldn't receive a lot of reimbursement on that project. And the thing is, we're gonna handle that project as a capital project independent of MSBA, so the issue will still be addressed. It's just gonna be happening outside of MSBA collaboration.
Well, to echo the comments of Councilor O'Malley, this has been a great partnership between city agencies and the council and the school committee, and you know, it's great that we're availing ourselves of all these reimbursement dollars that we haven't really done prior to this. So I'll be reporting this out favorably on Wednesday, and thank you for your testimony.
Thank you, Councilor.
This hearing's adjourned.